What I'm giving you today is actually one of the easiest. It's free, and it's one of the easiest ways that you can actually reach and connect with more people online, and through Google, through a Google search. How do I help my ministry or my business reach more people locally in the Google search? And if you're not even the leader of a church, or if you're here and you're not a business owner and you're like, well, this doesn't seem relevant to me, it still is, because if you are an attender of a church, I'm going to show you in this how you can sow a seed into causing your church to even rank higher in that Google search. Because let's be real and let's be honest. When people are looking for a business, when people are looking for a church, where do they go? Google, right? They'll go to Google, they'll type in churches near me, Pentecostal church near me, Word of Faith church near me, Baptist church near me. That's what they'll do first, is they'll do that. Or they'll go to Facebook on some kind of local forum and like put in the comments, hey, what church, what's a good church in the area? But most people actually use Google. And so they'll search church near me. If you're a real estate agents near me. If you're a contractor, contractors near me. If you're a mechanic, mechanics near me. And the first thing that will pop up on that search it's what's called a Google Maps pack. And it's actually going to look something like this. If you're on your phone, you'll see a Google Maps pack. It pulls up local businesses based on that search, or churches based on whatever that search was, and you'll see the top ones up top. So if you and honestly, a good way to check to see where your church or your organization ranks is if you just type in whatever your service is in your state, and you do that in maybe incognito mode. That gives you a less biased result. You'll see how it ranks on with people who are searching that thing. I'll even say this honestly. And in that document, I'm giving you really the steps that you can follow. I made it as simple as possible so that somebody who has absolutely no idea what I'm talking about can do it. But I'll walk you through that as well. But most people, when they Google something, they don't really go past what the first thing that pops up on their screen is. So they'll see like the first three options, and actually studies show that 78% of people will visit one of those places that they see within the next 24 hours. So making sure that your church is showing up higher on that search really will help bring more people in. Actually, you could reach up to 70% more people online just by following this process that I'm giving you today. So and that's not just churches, that's anybody, for any business, whatever you're doing. So reaching 70% more people online, that's crazy. And I actually just saw this and I thought it was interesting. In 2023, about 12% of Americans moved to a new house, to a new city, to a new location. And last year, I think it was around 7 or 8% of total Americans. That's like 10% of all of America moved, or if they didn't move twice in the last couple of years, almost 20% of all of Americans moved in the last 2 years. People are relocating. God's calling people to your cities. God's calling people to connect with you. And this is one of the easiest ways, and it's free, to reach those people. So they're moving to a new city and they're typing in Google, churches near me, businesses near me, whatever. They're trying to connect with people, and God wants you to connect with them. And so what I'm giving you today, it's a 10-step Google business profile game plan to help you reach those people that are moving to your town, those people that are coming in. Actually, Pastor Brian, he opened up this, and one of the things he was saying, because our church is awesome, the fire of God's moving, and people are moving from Maine, I moved from Pennsylvania to be a part of this church. People are moving from all over the place. People are driving in from 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours away every Sunday to come to our services. And one of the things Pastor said was, "Hey, we have all these people flying in, moving in, driving in, and what like praise God that all these people are seeing what's going on. But what about the people in our area? We want to reach the people that are local in our area." And this, again, this is one of the easiest ways. Now, this doesn't replace going into the highways and byways and winning souls. But I will say this, most people are stuck in their homes. They do their shopping online. They do all the stuff online. So if you want to reach the people, where do you reach them? One of the best ways that you can reach them is online. So I'm going to walk us through this 10-step Google Business Profile plan. I know it's more practical. It doesn't feel as spiritual, but winning souls and making disciples and being effective fishers of men is biblical, and that is spiritual. And again, a fisher of men knows where the people are at, and how to draw the people in. And one of those ways is through Google. And so Google really it operates in a way that it really wants to draw people to its own platform. Actually, I don't know if you know this, but I think it's the Department of Justice is trying to force Google to sell Chrome because they've kind of created a monopoly with what they're doing, that because everything they're doing is trying to draw people to their own platforms, which, I mean, that's what a business kind of wants to do. But there's a way to utilize how Google operates to help Google help you reach the people. So that's why optimizing your Google Business Profile is one of the best things you can do. Again, what is your Google Business Profile? When people search, let's say like my church, Boomerang Church in Albemarle, North Carolina. If I type in Boomerang Church, Albemarle, North Carolina in Google, what's going to pop up, and you'll see it on the screen, and you've probably seen this before, is a little card or a profile of Boomerang Church. It'll say Boomerang Church. It'll have some photos. It might have the street view of it. It'll show you a map. It'll give you the website, the phone number, that information. It'll give you Google reviews. It'll show you a bunch of different information, all sourced within Google. And that is your Google Business Profile. And if you just put your information you already have, photos you already have, if you put that stuff into that profile, just showing Google, hey, I'm using your platform, I'm investing in what you have set up, Google's going to boost you in that ranking. The churches that don't show up high in the rankings are the ones who haven't even touched their profile. It's just kind of sourced, like for the most part, Google will create one for you already, even if you haven't created one yourself. Based on websites and searches and stuff like that, Google usually just creates one for you. Unless you're a brand new church that has only been around for about a year, you might not have one. If that's the case, you can create one. But if you type in your church or your organization, your business into Google, you'll see it pop up. And the first step in optimizing your profile is you have to claim it. You have to claim and verify that this is your organization and that this is your business. So if you pull it up and it's just a bunch of generic information and there's a button on there that says own this business, click that button, and when you click that button, you'll be able to go through a verification process to prove this is in fact your business or this is in fact your church. So that's the first step, because you can't do anything else until you actually claim ownership over that church or over that business. And then that's where you now have access to your Google Business Profile. If you don't have one yet, there's no profile that pops up when you type in your business or your church. Basically, you can just go to google.com/business and you can do it there, or business.google.com, either way, and you can start your business there and create your business profile there. Um, so that's step one. It's really simple. And honestly, if you look at that PDF, you'll see that I kind of give you like how long each thing will take as well. It shouldn't take long because, again, most of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. But number one, you want to claim and verify your Google business profile. Number two, basically, is you select the specific categories of your business. So if you're a contractor, you can put a general contractor. If you're a church, you can put Christian church. But I would recommend, and I have this in the PDF as well, the more specific you are with that category, the better. I think a lot of times we have this idea of, well, if I'm more general, I'll reach more people. But that's not actually the case. Google prefers you to be as specific as possible, especially with your primary category. So if you're a Pentecostal church, put Pentecostal church. If you're a non-denominational church, you can do, like, they're very specific with their categories, and so that'll help. So your primary category, you do want it to be specific. I was going to show you, that the Google page, but it's not pulling up right now. Yay, Zoom, thank you very much. But when you pull that up, what I noticed was that the top categories that were showing up, none of them was just Christian church. They showed their specific, the word is niche, that they are trying to reach. Not everybody in your area is called to your church. I don't know if you know that, but that's why there's other churches, right? Pastor Brian says it all the time. We are not the best church, but we are a part of the best church. The church overall, is called to reach everybody, but your specific church is not. And so it's important for us to keep that in mind. We want to reach as many people as we can with the gospel, but not everybody's called to our specific local church or your business. Not everyone's specifically called to connect with your local business. That's why we have the church as a whole, so that we can reach everybody. But your church is specific to specific people. Boomerang Church, we have a vision. We are a house of love and prayer, living in His glory and abundance, winning souls, making disciples for Jesus. But our church is not for everybody. Our church is for people who are hungry. Our church is for people who will put down their flesh and have a desire to grow. And not everybody. It's not for everybody. But because of that, we want to make sure that the way we're presenting ourselves is real and genuine. We don't tell everybody, you'll love our church, because not everyone's going to love our church, because our church will challenge their flesh. And a lot of people don't love that. So we actually put that out up front. It's on our about page. It's on our landing page for our, some people hate us. We let people know that. And we're actually in the process of creating some videos for our church, to kind of walk them through, hey, these are things that you'll see in our services, and let's answer those questions in advance. So we want to make sure that we are presenting ourselves specifically and accurately to the people. So we're not going to put Baptist church just because, well, certain Baptist people should be a part of our church or whatever like that, because if a Baptist shows up and it's a Pentecostal service, they're going to call us liars and give you a bad review on Google. You don't want that. So make your categories as specific as possible to what you're doing. You have your primary category, and then you can put in secondary categories. So that's where you can be more broad. In those secondary categories, you can also put in, if you have a food program or something like that, you can include those into those secondary categories as well. So if someone's searching a food bank near me and you have that provided, you can include that into your categories, and that will help you show up in a Google search for when people are searching for those things in your specific area. So you want to choose the best categories for you. And again, be more specific. Do not be more general, because when you're more general, that Google likes specificity. I think that's a word. If it's a word, I for sure did not say it right, but you know what I'm trying to say. So number one, claim your profile. Number two, choose your categories. Number three, perfect your core info. So Now, with that being said, you want to really just fill out all the information. Complete your profile. This is your website. This is your phone number. This is your address. All of those things. You want to make sure that that all the information that's in there is specific and it is accurate. It'll help you to have your business hours. So if there are specific office hours that people can call or that people can come in, you want to have those hours on there. The more information that you put in your Google business profile, the better, because you're showing Google, hey, I'm giving you all this information. It gives them more that they can pull from for whenever whenever they're presenting information in front of someone making a search. So the more information you put in there, the better. Now, I will add this when it comes to putting in your phone number, your address, your website, all that stuff. If you already have a website that's established and built, you want the information that you're putting in your Google Business Profile to be absolutely identical with what shows up on your website. It just creates kind of a cohesive flow. It shows Google, hey, this information is absolutely accurate, because if Google's kind of curious, like, hey, this, I don't know if this is accurate, this says something a little bit different than this, they'll rank you lower on the search results. So if on your website it says, let's say like the street that our church is on can be called Concord Road. It's also called Highway 73. So if let's say on the website it says Highway 73, or let's say it's just HWY 73, but on our Google Business Profile it's HIGHWAY 73. Like, there's an inconsistency there, and that'll cause you to rank lower. So you want to make sure that what's on your Google Business Profile is absolutely identical with what's on your website. That just helps you rank a little bit higher. So you fill out all that information, and then part of that information is a description of your church or your business, basically the services you provide and what that looks like. So that's kind of a short description, basically saying this is who we are. Usually in that description, you don't want to have your vision statement, because you want that description to be optimized for a search engine. So people aren't Googling your church's vision. What people are Googling is a church in a specific area. So to optimize your description, you want to have your church area, your city, your state, your county. You want to have those kind of keywords inside that description, because when people are searching for it, those keywords, Google will recognize those. And again, that'll cause you to rank a little bit higher in that Google Maps pack. And if you look at that PDF, I actually gave you a ChatGPT prompt that you can put in there too. That's just simple. You can throw that into ChatGPT, tell them your service times, tell them, you can even put your vision in there, whatever call to action you might want to have in there, like, for example, a landing page that you want to go to if they want to know more about your church. You can put those pieces in that ChatGPT prompt, and it'll generate a search engine optimized or a Google optimized description for you, that you don't really have to write yourself. And you can put that in your description, and it'll help you, again, rank higher on the search. So the next thing, and this is really important, because a lot of times, you can look up a church and the only photo that pulls up is the Google Maps street view of that church, and that doesn't catch people's eyes, and that doesn't catch people's attention when they're doing a search for a church or a business or something like that. So the next thing you want to do is you want to upload, and I know it's a lot, but if you take an iPhone and walk around and get certain pictures, it's great. But you want to upload 15 to 30 real photos of your church, of your services, of your business building, or the things that you're selling, the things that you're offering the services that you're offering. You can upload 15 to 30 real photos to your Google business profile. So if you're selling houses, you can upload photos of some houses that you've sold. If you're a contractor, you can upload videos of some projects that you've performed. But especially as a church, one of the things that people want to see is, what does the sanctuary look like? What does the church building look like on the outside? And they're not looking for a Google Street View. They're looking for an actual professional photo of the church building, the facilities. If there's a playground, they want to see that. The children's ministry area, the foyer, the sanctuary, different areas of the church. Take photos and upload those photos to your profile. And again, that's one of those things that really draws people's attention, that captivates people and helps them see, oh, this is what a service looks like. This is what the sanctuary looks like. This is what it kind of gives them a preview of their visit before they visit. A lot of people in a world where anxiety is prevalent and social anxiety can be out there, giving people a glimpse of what they would see before they see it kind of helps alleviate some of that stuff. Now, they shouldn't have, like, that's a whole nother topic. I'm not talking about that. But uploading 15 to 30 videos to your Google Business Profile will really help Google promote you in that search. Also, again, it's just another one of those ways that you're showing Google, hey, I'm invested into your platform, invest into me. And that's kind of how Google operates in that way. The next thing that you can do is you build out your services or products. So if you're a business, this is kind of a little bit easier to build out, but there's a section on your profile where you can put in your services. So I have a business where I build websites. I actually optimize Google Business Profiles. I help with logos and branding packages and stuff like that. And so, like, on my Google Business Profile, I'll have website design, website maintenance. I have these different products and services that I offer within my Google Business Profile. So whatever your business is, it'd be good to put those in there, and photos that go along with it, and you can actually link each of those services to a specific page on your website. Now, for a church, what that could look like is, if you have if your church, again, has like a food pantry or food bank, you can put that on there. You can put life groups on there, small groups, whatever you call that, kids church, youth services, stuff like that. You can have those in services and products, and that you can have each of those connected to a specific landing page on your website. It just shows people, well, it shows Google, hey, I'm putting more information in there for you. For example, if someone's looking for, hey, I need to, my teenagers are rebelling, I need to get them involved in a youth group, and they type in, youth group in whatever your city is, having that is just another thing that can really help populate you and your service in front of the people as well. So you can build out those services and products in there. Then the next thing is, I don't know if you know this, honestly, this is something that I discovered in the last 5 years, but you can actually make your Google Business Profile can also kind of work and operate as a social media platform too. So you can post updates, sermon notes. You can post if you're already posting stuff on your Facebook and on your Instagram, you can post some of that stuff to your Google Business Profile as well, and you can post updates, and you can post events as well. So if you have a conference coming up, you can post that conference to your Google Business Profile. So if people are searching leadership events near me, or if people are searching, marriage conference near me, your event that you put in your Google Business Profile can pop up. They might not be on your Facebook, they might not be on your website, and tracking your ministry. But if you have that on your Google business profile and someone's searching a marriage conference near me or a men's conference or whatever you're providing, that can actually populate and pull up in their Google search. Because again, Google is trying to direct people to Google. And so they're not trying to direct people necessarily to Facebook. They're not trying to direct people necessarily to Instagram. They're trying to direct people to Google's platform. Again, that's why the Department of Justice is trying to stop them from doing that, but that's what they're doing. So if you have your event in Google, then Google is going to promote that Google event, and then in that event, you can direct them to your website or however they can register for that event. So in your Google business profile, upload your events that you're having. Upload some updates. You know, if you have a Christmas service or a Thanksgiving service or a special service, you know, you can make updates and posts on your Google business profile. And again, the more you utilize this, the more Google's going to put you in front of people. So post updates and events in your Google business profile. Number 8. We're winding down, getting to the end of this, but number 8, gather reviews. So one of the first things that people actually look at whenever they're looking at a church or a business, one of the first things that their eyes actually naturally gravitate to is the reviews. Is this place reputable? Because people and this is where word of mouth can benefit you in Google is people's brains go to that review. How many reviews are there and what are their stars? If it's 2 stars, like even if there's only 2 reviews, if it's a 2 out of 5 star, people might not go to that. And if Google sees that people don't like the organization, they're not going to recommend you as much either. So as a church, it'd be really good for you to kind of put this vision in front of people. And this is where everybody watching right now, if you're not a business owner or a church owner, this is something you can do like in 30 seconds that will actually help promote and bump up your church or your business or your organization in Google's rankings. Is you gather reviews. So if you cast vision to your church and say, hey, one of the ways you can sow a free seed into your church and into this ministry is by going to our church on Google and just making a review. An honest review. You don't want to solicit reviews from people who have never attended your church. But actually, if Google finds out, this is something I found out recently too as I was preparing this. If Google finds out that you're, like, let's say you're a business, right? And you say, hey, if you give us a 5-star review, we'll give you this for free. Google actually frowns on that. And they can actually suspend your profile if they find out that you're soliciting or giving incentives for Google reviews. So don't do that. But what you can do is say, hey, man, if we bless you, please give us a review. Like we helped you, give us a review. And the more reviews you get, the more that Google will promote you. But again, for a church, if you're a member of a church, go to Google right now, pull up your church, and give them a good review. Tell the people specifically, how has this church and how has this ministry changed your life? And the more you gather of those, first off, the more 5-star reviews you get, the better, because Google likes that. Oh, people are engaging with this, and people are using our platform, to write reviews. So if the more 5-star reviews and the more positive reviews you get, the more Google's like, all right, let's bump them, let's push them. So if you're a church leader, cast that vision. Like have your life groups. Let them talk about it. Have the life group spend just 5 minutes of their life group sowing a seed into their ministry and their organization by just putting a simple Google review into that Google profile. And like that's so easy. That's so easy of a way to really help promote and sow seeds into your church, and you don't have to pay for it. So if you're a business, one thing that I have is anytime I build a website for somebody, I send them a gift. But in that gift, I just have a little card saying, hey, thank you so much for being a client for me. Like if you'd love to do me a favor now, the gift isn't an incentive, but the gift is just a gift. but there's a card with a QR code on it that says, "Hey, if this blessed you, like just do me a solid and write a Google review for me." I don't remember specifically the words that's on it, but that's just something that I give them just to encourage some of those Google reviews, because again, that'll help that business or that church or organization, and it's so easy. All right, next. Update number 9, update and mirror citations. What is a citation? A citation is like one of those other websites like Yelp or like your local commerce, like Yellow Pages, stuff like that. Actually, like one of the easiest things you can do, and I have it right here on the document too. So make sure before the Zoom call's over, make sure you download this document, because once the Zoom call's over, it's going to be gone. So make sure you download that document. But but uh, but one of the things you can do is you can type in churches in my city or my business in my city, and just scroll past the maps pack and see what are the top websites that pop up. So you'll see Yelp often is one of those things that pops up. So that is one of those things that you can pull up your business or your church on that website, and you can claim your business. The same thing you're doing on your Google business profile, so you can claim that, and then you basically mirror everything that you have that you've already done on your Google business profile. You do that on that website. So, and it's not all just Yelp. If you're like if you're a restaurant, Yelp is a big one, but there's also other ones that people can utilize. A good example would be, let's say you have a babysitting business. One of the things, there's care.com, I think, is one that a lot of, like, basically there are websites that people go to find certain services that aren't Google. It's not as common anymore, but like people will look at reviews on Yelp. If you're a contractor or if or a church, some people will go to your city your city commerce website, whatever that would be called, and like Stanley County Chamber of Commerce. Like people will go to websites and places like that to find things too. So if you're able to in those areas, do your best to completely mirror what you've already done on your Google business profile, because that just gives Google some more places to pull from, and it helps you kind of reach people that might not use Google, which again is very rare. But if you Google whatever your service is and whatever your city is, just kind of scroll down a little bit and see, and you'll see kind of some of those citation websites, Yelp, different things like that, and pull up whatever you see in the top maybe 10 and just mirror what you did in your Google business profile on that website. And again, that'll help boost and promote what you're doing in your ministry or your business. And then the last one for your Google business profile is own the Q&A section and respond to all reviews. So if someone hops on to your Q&A section and they're asking questions, you want to be, ultimately, if you claimed your Google business profile, you'll get emails, but you want to be the first person to answer those questions. And honestly, one thing you can do is you can kind of seed those questions into your Google business profile as well. So if there's frequently asked questions, hey, what kind of church is this? What does this church believe? Or something like that. You can put those into your Google business profile right there up top and answer the questions up front. But if people are asking questions, you want to be the person to answer those questions, because if you're the one to answer those questions, that will help. And as people are giving you reviews, so own the Q&A and respond to all reviews. So as people are giving you reviews, you should be getting emails anytime someone gives you a review. As people give you a review from your Google business profile, you want to respond to those. So let's say you're a business and someone wasn't super happy, just be genuine and honest with that response, and you can do that. Now, if someone, let's say someone just doesn't like Jesus, right? And obviously your church is all about Jesus, so they're just going into all the churches and giving them bad reviews and stuff like that for churches that they've never attended. One thing you can do is you can challenge reviews, and you can tell Google, hey, this person never attended my church. I'm thinking of one example that I'm not going to talk about right now, but like, hey, this isn't a legitimate review, and you can challenge those reviews, and Google may or may not take that review off of your profile. But it is good to keep a pulse on the reviews that come in. So if people have reviewed or given reviews on your Google Business profile in the last 5 years, it'd be good to just go back and thank them for their review. And just say, hey, you're a blessing, whatever, it'd be good to stay on top of that. Because again, the more engagement that you have on your profile, the better. So respond to your reviews, respond to questions as they come in. And so like, as long as you're continuously just encouraging people to review, this shouldn't take much time at all. But that's number 10, and that's pretty much it. If you look at the document, you'll see I give some extra tips that you can walk through, and some more things on that. But again, make sure you download that document. It's in the chat, so you should be able to access it there. But if you follow those 10 steps, it will not instantly, over the next maybe 4 to 6 weeks, you'll start to see that it'll actually begin increasing your visibility on Google searches when people are searching for your specific business or church in your area. Again, there's people in your local area that are there because God wants to connect them with you. God's not going to call you to an area to not connect with the people in that area. And so this is one of the ways that you can utilize the tools that are available to you to reach the people in your local area. They're lost. They need hope. They need help. They need a service to be provided, or they need a product to make their lives easier and better, and that's why He called you into that business, or whatever it is that they need. God is calling you to help meet that need, and He's called you and called me as disciples of Jesus Christ to be fishers of men. And so this is one of the baits, I guess, one of the things that people are hungry for. They're going to Google, they're searching these things. This is one of the ways we can put out in front of them the services that we provide, the ministry that we want to bring to them, and we present it in the pool that they're already in the pond that they're in, so that we can reach more people for the gospel and reach more people. Even as a Christian business, it's not just about selling products and providing services. It's about being salt and light in this earth. So we want to connect with as many people as possible. So as much as this doesn't sound spiritual, it is. It's utilizing the tools that are available to us to advance the kingdom of God. And that's what we're about at Kingdom Ministry Affiliation. So we're here to advance the kingdom of God through utilizing tools and the means that are available to us to reach the people. So